Hey, everybody. Um, Happy Monday, I suppose. This is the day after Easter. And I wanted to talk about the Pope dying for a second. Obviously, this is kind of a strange video to have as my first video. It seems a little weird talking about the death of Pope Francis. So, first of all, a lot of people just celebrated Easter. And I am sure that this is not great news. He'd been having health troubles for a while, so I don't know if this was a surprise to people or not. But the thing I want to talk about uh, is more sort of about a kind of, hate to say this, an authoritarian sort of strategic play. And so I'm kind of hoping I'm wrong about this. So again, before I get into it, we'll just say, rest in peace to Pope Francis. I think that, like anybody else in a heavy position of power, particularly a religious one, there are things that I agreed with him on, and I was glad that he advocated for. And then, of course, there were things that wasn't so hot on. But for right now, given this is the day that he passed, and that the Roman Catholic Church is going to be going through their processes, and a lot of people are going to be kind of grieving around this. I think just saying rest in peace, and that I feel for, and I'm sorry for a lot of people that are feeling hurt today. So this is something that I am kind of throwing out there as an idea. I haven't seen anyone talk about this yet. And so this is sort of my, like, write it down, put it in an envelope, and send it to yourself kind of thing to see where this is going in the future. But there is, in my mind, a serious concern that Trump is going to ingratiate himself in the process of selecting the next pope. I Again, this is just my thoughts. I'm just throwing this out there. Could be wrong, but if you're just looking at this as a purely strategic play, politics play, if you will, it makes a lot of sense that somebody like Trump, who is notoriously, I don't know how to say it, disrespectful to various religions and the belief systems of a lot of those religions, he is probably going to see an opportunity here to increase his potential power. And I think it's hard to argue that if you are able to facilitate the next pope, and it is somebody that you want, who you feel might be able to offer you some sort of benefit in some kind of way, or at the very worst, is somebody who is willing to do what you want them to do and to say the things you want them to say, is going to present a tremendously complicated and dangerous situation. Somebody like Trump, to be honest, does not need the power of the Roman Catholic Church behind him. He does not need the power of the papacy, even if that was to be 30% of Roman Catholics across the world that would sort of adhere to this and listen. Let's just say that as a a rough estimate or whatever. That's extremely dangerous. I mean, we've seen what he is able to do with 30 to 40% of the American voting population, and I think it is extremely tense and scary about if he does this. Of course, I'm just a dude sitting in a room, talking about how I can help the people of Ohio and this country. But at a larger, high level scale, strategically, this has just been sitting in the back of my mind since we first heard about the Pope's illnesses and his challenges. It was, what, 2 or 3 weeks ago when he was hospitalized. And in the back of my mind, I was just sort of thinking through all these scenarios. I was like, you know what? Like, if I was Trump and if I had a very questionable, we'll say, moral compass, this would be a very significant move and a very smart one for him, to test, to see if he can influence this process for electing the new pope, and if that pope will then be willing to confer to him some level of whatever partnership, whatever you want to call it, that Pope Francis wasn't willing to do. And there's numerous times that Pope Francis spoke directly, including what appears to be a couple days ago on J.D. Vance's visit, where he spoke very sharply about his disagreements with the Trump administration. And, there's no guarantee that the next pope will do that, will advocate for immigrants and the poor or what have you, for attempting to insert some sort of moral guidelines into leadership and what should be expected for a leader. So I don't really have much more to say on that. I'm just sort of throwing this idea out there. Let's see over the next couple of days, because it'll be a couple of weeks if the Roman Catholic Church, the papacy, if they follow through their traditional standards, we're going to have over a week of mourning, and then of course conclave and all of that process, and so we'll see what that ends up looking like. But it's just something rattling around in my brain. Again, this is kind of a weird thing to bring up. I just literally started getting the process ready for these YouTube videos to get online. I had to wait for like a couple of weeks through YouTube. It's weird, like, we created our what do you call it, our Gmail workspace to get that all set up, and I guess it required a couple of weeks before we were allowed to like upload videos through that same account's YouTube. So it's been a couple of weeks of just different news things kind of popping around in my head, and coming up to the team here and what we should talk about and what we should think about. And then last night, and I guess it was this morning, I saw the news. I wanted to kind of get this out here as a, if you want to call it a goalpost, whatever, as something we can plant in the sand. Hi, sweetie. That's my cat. Apologies. Where we can talk about what this means. And so I'm going to be trying to do more videos about the news. There's just so much going on, and I think a lot of it just needs to be out there. A lot of it needs to kind of be discussed. There's obviously great resources out there on YouTube that are discussing these topics. So, I'm going to try to keep these kind of videos short and quick as we think about and discuss where this is all leading. If you want to see, hi, Pumpkin on her first video. I can't get a video out, it seems, without having her make an appearance. So this is Pumpkin. Want to say hi? But anyway, so again, I'll say rest in peace to Pope Francis. Apologies, or not apologies, but sympathies for everyone who is sort of feeling that they lost an important figure in their lives. And I will continue doing videos as more of these opportunities come up. So for now, I appreciate you all watching, and I will see you at the next video. Take care.